Good morning, friends. Ronnie Rance, Tommy Chrysan, Masters Week, TK over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. And if you are even a casual golfer fan, this is the top week of the year as far as golf is concerned. It also comes at the perfect time. The weather is usually great everywhere, awesome golf weather. And it's sort of the golf season is sort of new, and so you get that major, the best tournament ever, best tournament of the year right off the bat. First week of April, and then the rest of that's when golf really cranks up between now and the end of September is when folks are really into golf, watching it on TV and everything like that. Tommy Christ, St. Ronnie Rants with you. Hope you had a great week. We're going to put a bow on your week and look towards the weekend. LSU baseball, after winning two of the last three, both against Kentucky and Tennessee, feeling a little good about itself until Bethune-Cookman came to town. They'll try to flush that one. Remember, lost to McNeese midweek as well. Trying to forget that one. And LSU got beat by Bethune-Cookman. I was impressed by Bethune-Cookman on Tuesday, Tommy. I think they pounded out 12, 13 hits, but they had really good quality at bats.
Yeah, they went and they ambushed first pitch a lot, and they knew the strike zone. I was impressed with them too. We knew they were 22-10. We knew they were leading the SWAC, and they just beat Southern 2 out of 3. Two of those, one at Southern, two of those games were at Barrow Stadium in New Orleans. So, but Dylan Cookman, that's a team that's probably going to win the SWAC tournament, which would put them in the postseason. But they look good. Yeah, coach has been there a while. They look good. They look solid. And they took it to LSU the other night. I mean, they just flat out said, "Hey, here we are."
Jake Brown picked up his 13th home run of the season in that ball game for LSU. The Tigers swung the bat pretty decent, but just didn't get it done with runners in scoring position. And that seems to be outside of Curiel, who's been fabulous in that role this year, runners in scoring position. They did not get it done on the Tuesday. They had the bases loaded with no outs in the seventh and struck out the side. Reliever for Bethune-Cookman came in throwing an unbelievable splitty changeup. And then you had in the eighth inning, you got a couple guys on hit into a double play. So LSU just did not come through in the clutch. They lose to Bethune-Cookman, a team who is probably the best team in the SWAC, although getting pressed a little bit this year. Um, now,
Well, and the other thing, he got some injuries from Tuesday night. Stanfield, Dardar, Cerna. There's some things going on. A couple of them listed as questionable or probable for this weekend at Ole Miss because they got to do that injury report thing.
right. So Cerner did not play on Tuesday because of a concussion protocol situation from the Sunday game at Tennessee. Indications are that he will play this weekend and that they kind of held him out of caution. Chris Stanfield, who of course missed 16 games with a hand injury, jammed his wrist and hand into the wall going for a ball in left field and came out of the game when it was his turn at bat after that half inning. He came out of the game. We saw an image of him putting ice on his wrist during the game. So that is very concerning because it's a pre-existing injury that he aggravated. And he's such a huge part of this team. I mean, it's a big difference for this LSU team when Stanfield is in the game and when he's not. Wins and losses indicate that as well. Um, and then, as you mentioned, Dardar. Now, this was bizarre. So
Yeah.
Dardar slid into second base, jammed his ankle and knee. It looked like into the bag. I mean, and it was pretty brutal when you watched it on TV. You could see where he slid late, jammed himself into that bag. But the main thing was, as soon as he jammed himself into that bag, he went to the ground face down, did not move, not a muscle. For probably 30 seconds. I mean, face down in the dirt, did not move for at least 30 seconds. His ankle was parallel to the ground. His left foot, his ankle was literally parallel to the ground. The other team thought he was severely injured. The umpire thought he was severely injured. Matt Montgomery, Mongo, who is like the head of the equipment managers, head of operations for the stadium, a whole 9 yards. I don't know what titles he's got, but he does everything. He runs out to the field. He immediately gets on the radio after looking at him, talking to him, basically to call like EMS or get them ready or whatever. The trainer runs out, and after a minute, the guy pops up and plays the rest of the game. So bizarre, and and I saw Mongo like walk off the field, and when he went over to the sidelines, to where like to talk to some other athletic department officials, he kind of like covered his mouth and was like laughing, like because he had the emergency folks ready to go. They were gonna pull the ambulance around or whatever they had to do, and he ended up popping up and playing.
Well,
But he was limping a little bit after that.
but I was surprised as anybody when he jumped up and he was bouncing around a little bit and moving the ankle. Yeah, because when it happened and then when that image we saw with that foot was laying to the side, I thought broken ankle. That's what was first thing popped in my head. And then when you guys showed the replay, I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't look good. But and I'm sure it was sore the next day, very sore. But that was a little bit strange looking. But we hope he's okay and we hope he can play this weekend. He's been hot at the plate and that's been important for him. He's a reason they won the last couple of series because he did get hot after starting hot, slumping. I mean, typical baseball roller coaster.
Yeah, no, he's been fantastic for LSU, and if he's not 100%, curious to see how he handles that ankle. Obviously it was just Tuesday. Today's Friday, so Stanfield and Dart are both going to be, if they play tonight, both going to be not playing at 100%. But hopefully they are able to play because they both have been very good for LSU. So definitely something to watch with those two and Omar Cerner, three starters that are at minimum playing banged up if they play, if all three do play. Interesting rotation decision for LSU for the second week in a row. It will be Evans, Schmidt, and then Grant Fontenot, who did look good for 2+ innings on Sunday against Tennessee.
Yeah, Grant Fontenot's numbers are there. He throws hard. He's 98, 99 all day. So they've announced that he will throw, which tells you that they're going to play each game at a time. And right now, that means Gidry could come in and and try to save something today or tomorrow. So 6:30 tonight, 4 o'clock Saturday, 1:30 Sunday in Oxford. Ole Miss ranked 25th in the D1 poll, LSU 24. But we'll see how that pitching and if Fontenot can go a little longer that'd be a big plus.
Yeah, Grant Fontenot literally has the lowest ERA on the team at 1.5. And, it doesn't have a large sample size, but, has done a nice job, a better job of throwing strikes than he did in the past. That he was his own worst enemy in the past. Um, so he's been really focusing on pounding the zone as well. He should. He's got a big time arm. He's going to throw the ball 95 to 99 miles an hour. So, when you throw that hard and you're that big and strong, you throw it in there, challenge the hitters. He's a young man who's in his final year out of Lafayette High School. He was actually signed by Pulmonary and played for Pulmonary when he was at LSU. He redshirted Pulmonary's last year, and then of course new coach comes in and all, and he wasn't 100%. It didn't work out, and he ends up transferring, goes spend some time at UT in Texas, and then ends up back in Baton Rouge. And so, a guy who going into the season, quite frankly, really wasn't a whole lot expected about him. A little bit still as a project, but again, after you give a guy enough time, let him get healthy, let him get older, more mature, and it seems that now's his time. And at 6'3", 6'4", whatever he is, and throwing the ball 95 to 99 miles an hour, it's a good chance he's going to get a chance to play professional baseball for sure. And so hopefully LSU, for LSU, he can be that nice surprise and be an addition to kind of make up for the loss of Cooper Moore, who still not going to be back in the rotation, and that is a giant loss. This is a guy who, of course, transferred from Kansas, was their ace. He was expected to be one of LSU's top pitchers, was slotted in that Saturday spot, and it's a massive loss to lose him because he was a guy that could go eat up 100 pitches every weekend and give you a chance to succeed. And so, haven't heard anything from him. You're not going to hear anything from him about him from Jay Johnson. Jay guards things close to the vest, Tommy, but they need Cooper Moore in the worst way because they still are trying to find that consistency in the bullpen. They've made some nice positive moves. Gavin Guidry's coming off of his best performance out of the bullpen this year, went 5 1/3, gave up 1 run against Tennessee. That is a positive side, no doubt about it. And so we'll see if we can get some good starts this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be important. Take one game at a time. All the cliches you can name. And Ole Miss is a good baseball team. They pitch it well. They got throw a lefty tonight. That's their Friday guy, so it's going to be a challenge for LSU.
Speaking of Ole Miss, it's the 20th anniversary. They're honoring this weekend alumni. It's alumni weekend for the baseball team, and they're honoring the 2006 team that won the SEC tournament championship. That shows the difference in the programs. They don't have reunions for tournament championship teams at LSU, or even SEC championship teams at LSU. They only have reunions for national championship teams at LSU. And oh, by the way, they got 8 of them, so they have a lot of reunions.
Well, one other thing for Ole Miss Tiger fans will be reminded: Eddie Furness, one of the all-time LSU greats, his son's the first baseman for the Rebels with decent numbers so far in the season. So when you see that Furness name, and he kind of looks like Eddie a little bit the way he moves around and plays first. So Tigers will have a little blood in the battle there. Ronnie froze up on us right there. Don't forget, Tremonti's has got bull crawfish at 3 o'clock today and tomorrow. They can cater your crawfish bowl 3 o'clock, hot out the pot at Tremonti's today and tomorrow. All right, Ronnie has froze up on us a little bit there. Don't forget tomorrow morning, Sports Shorts
Got me.
Radio. Hunter McCann, Ronnie Rance, and I live from the walk-ons in Brewley, ESPN, Southwest Louisiana, covering Lafayette and Lake Charles, and of course, 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge. All right, Ronnie, you're back there with us. You had froze up for a minute.
Do you have me, TK?
Yes,
All right.
we do. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Let's talk a little Masters for a minute. So, how about I love seeing the leaderboard, right? You got Sam Burns, who lives at Squire Creek up in the Ruston area from Shreveport. He was best friends with David Toms' son growing up. David Toms is one of his big mentors, America. And you got him, and then of course Patrick Reed, who went to high school and university high, was already won the Masters. It's well documented his estranged with his family, but also a guy who has had some great moments for the United States on the Ryder Cup over the years. Used to be one of those Dragon Slayer type guys, and so great to see two of the three golfers at the top of the leaderboard with Louisiana ties.
Yeah, and Patrick Reed's kind of that guy, just does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. And coming back to the tour after the live thing. And he's a pretty darn good golfer. He's got a great short game and he putts very well, and that's key at Augusta. Firm and fast is how the course has been described this week over there, and it's only going to get firmer and faster as the weekend goes on. The weather looks to be perfect for all of the days. It's going to be a fun weekend with the Masters.
Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy. Sam Burns, I saw Tommy was like plus 11,000 maybe before the Masters. I saw or something like it was a big old number
Yeah, I
to
saw
win
some
it.
people. A friend of mine bet it when it was plus 6,000. I bet
Yeah.
on Patrick Reed and Justin Rose to win. And after round one, I'm in good shape with both. But a lot of golf to be played, and you just we saw a guy make a nine yesterday. McIntyre, the former McNeese golfer, made a nine on the par five yesterday. It can get out of control quickly at Augusta. No question about that.
Two things. One, speaking of Augusta, and again, we'll tell you, download the Masters app. It's the best app in sports. But to watch everything. I MC this Calcutta auction on Wednesday night, which I do annually. I think it's been 8 years in a row I've done this.
We're not
Uh,
seeing you, Ronnie. If you could, I don't know if you can hit a button.
yeah. I can
I'm
always.
hearing you perfectly fine, but I'm not.
Okay, I can log off and log. Let me
And
log
it's
off,
been
log
a
back in
minute
super
since
quick.
we've seen you. All right, we'll do that. And don't forget, 3 o'clock hot boiled crawfish today at Tremonti's. And tomorrow you can get live crawfish. They got plenty here. They're not going to run out. If you order it, they tell you they got it, you're going to get it. And they can cater your crawfish bowl, large or small. They got a lot of that going on right now. Of course, everything else you need at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. All right, now we got you, Ronnie. Go ahead. I just did a little Tremonti's plug. But yeah, go ahead. You emceed the
So
auction.
So at MC this Calcutta auction, and usually the last couple of years, the total pot of money in this Calcutta auction, where you gamble on who you think's going to win the Masters, and you do it by in groupings, different groupings. They list all the golfers, and they put them on basically 31 teams, 90,000 the pot, $190,000, and
Wow.
Scotty Scheffler went for 18 grand. 18 grand.
Holy
And now
smoke.
they do these are teams that are, you like you wouldn't go in there with your own wallet. You have groups of 4, 5, 6, 7 guys on a team that are all piling in and buying teams and stuff like that and gambling for the auction. But um that's how big of a favorite is that Scotty Scheffler. So someone paid $18,000 for Scotty Scheffler. They will not make money on Scotty Scheffler unless he finishes in the top three.
Okay.
But that's how good he is and how much of a favorite he is that at $18,000 the group of people, which some of them bought Scotty Scheffler for 18,000. They feel like they got a good bet. And if he finishes fourth, they'll get a lot of their money back. I think just about most of their money back that they paid for him. But he's got to finish in the top three, or they don't even make any money off Scotty Scheffler. It's pretty good.
That's why they call it gambling. You don't know,
Yeah.
and you take a chance, and the risk, the reward, the value, all of that
So
stuff.
so
No,
so
that's
this
cool.
was there was this question on the internet. I saw this on social media, and I'll ask you because you played a lot more golf than I have. If you got to the final hole, number 18 at Augusta National on Sunday, and you were in the final group, and the other two golfers were Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, and you had a 6-stroke lead on them, do you think you could win? That means
Six
you
stroke lead.
that means you've got to shoot at least a 10 on that
I,
last hole, and they shoot a 4. If they shoot a
I
4.
would I would say yes, Ronnie, because if I had a six-stroke lead, I mean, I was playing pretty good. Okay, and and I could allow for a crazy shot or two, or maybe a short missed putt. But I would say yes with a six-shot lead. Now I haven't been to Augusta. I know that hole is way more uphill than anybody who's never been there knows. But yeah, I think I could hang on because if I got to that spot, I'd be playing well.
The question isn't so much about the course or the shape of the course or the hole. It's about the gallery and the
The pressure.
nerves that one would feel in that
Uh,
moment.
Well, again, I can't totally answer because I'm never going to be in that spot, but fun to think
Yeah,
about it. I think I'd hang on.
yeah. I
I
think it
might
would.
hit a wedge. I might hit four wedges right down the middle, and then putt it from 100 yards. Might get goofy, but I think I could hang on.
Yeah, I think it
Be
would
a
be a
wash
major.
weekend.
It definitely would be a major sweat. I don't think you're parring or bogeying that hole. I think it's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
get.
yeah. I'm not ripping one right down the middle and then throwing an iron
Yeah,
on the green. No, that's not
yeah.
happening. I mean, that
It's gonna get weird. Yeah, it's gonna get weird. Another bet I heard was if you put a ball on the furthest spot on the course, on excuse me, if you put the ball on every hole, on every green, furthest away from the hole that you could find, but still be on the green. Okay. So
okay.
go to every hole. There's the green. Put the ball on the green just as far as possible away from the hole, but still yet be on the green. Do you think you could? You think you could shoot par?
No, not at Augusta because of the unfamiliarity and the way the greens are and the speed. I don't know. I don't think I could do that. Uh,
You basically would need to, in essence, four putt. You'd have to four putt on average, four putt every hole. So
I'd
the
be
question is,
close.
if you got a 60-foot putt, 90-foot putt, 100-foot putt at Augusta National, can you get it in the hole at four times every time? You know,
It'd be close. I think it'd be close. Because
Yeah.
there's a couple of greens out there that aren't huge. Number 12's not huge. 13's not. They have some greens that you might not have that 108-foot putt. But although we saw guys yesterday put it off the green.
Right. And
It
that's
didn't
and that was the point that was brought up on the podcast that I saw. I was talking about it was with a professional golfer, and he was like, there's some holes on that course where you're going to potentially putt it off the green, and it's going to roll to where now you got a 60-foot shot to the green,
Yeah.
and now you're playing the hole. You know, like that just goes to speak. Now, we know Buzzy Heidel, who we have on the radio show from time to time, and all that, and he's a gallery guard on number 10, and he has shot 72 and 71 in the 5 times prior that he's played it. Two of those 5 times he shot 72. So now he's not playing from the tips where the pros are. He's playing from the member tees. He's using a cart, and the greens are not set up as hard. They're playing this course in late May, a month out from the Masters. The grass is higher. They get it. They get it. I mean, it's still a challenging course. Don't get me wrong. And Buzzy has said if it wasn't for the caddy, they put a four caddy on every green to keep the pace of play moving, and the four caddy helps you read the putts. He goes, if it wasn't for the four caddy, I would not have shot 71 and 72. He goes that they absolutely help you make some putts that you would not make on your own because they know where the green breaks, they know where everything breaks, and you don't see it. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it would be close. I think with the four putt in every hole, in part because maybe you could have a couple of three putts to offset perhaps a five putt or putting it off the green or something like that. Ronnie, you popped out again. If you could jump back in, I got your name up there, but
well,
nobody's
Tommy, I'm
seeing
gonna
it.
let you. I'm gonna let you sign off. I know we'll be back on the air tomorrow morning for more Sports Shorts Radio. We'll be live at the Bruley
Yeah,
Walk-Ons. We're looking forward to that, and you'll be able to follow us on Sports Shorts. We'll be live streaming. We'll have some cameras, not iPhones. We'll have some real equipment out there tomorrow. So excited about that. We'll be streaming Sports Shorts Saturdays every Saturday. Starting tomorrow from the Bruley Walk-Ons, you, myself, Hunter McCann. So we'll just see you then, TK.
all right, thank you. That's Ronnie Rance. And don't forget to get your Baton Rouge Rougarou and Lake Charles Gumbo Gators season tickets. Texas Collegiate League action getting closer every day. brrougarou.com, gumbogators.com. You see it on your screen. Don't forget to like and share this show. That helps with everything, no matter whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or X. Like and share this show. We appreciate that. Sports Shorts Radio in the morning. And don't forget, Sports Shorts Monday will be 6:30 p.m. Yeah, we changed that up a little bit for you. 6:30 p.m. I'll be over at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, where they got steak night Saturday night and their Sunday brunch is awesome, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. One more time, don't forget boiled crawfish here at Tremonti's today, 3 p.m. Hot out the pot. They got live crawfish. You can order what you want to get. They can cater your crawfish boil. Tremonti's meat and seafood, all the wine, the bourbon, the vodka, the tequila, everything you need at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. On behalf of Ronnie Rance, I'm Tommy Christ, and have a great day, everyone.